So this is the UI. UI is graphical user interface. So what these controls are, the labels, buttons, links, you are able to see this is a graphical user interface. So what we say, it is a UI. Okay, people say UI or GUI, both are same. Okay, so this is the UI part, which is the page we are able to see. This is also called as presentation layer. Okay, so this is also called as presentation layer. So what does it mean by presentation layer? This is available to user, like user is able to see these screens. So that is presentation layer. And the testing we do for this presentation layer using Selenium and Java. Okay, so that is for automation. So you will do a Selenium Java for this. Okay, so in manual testing, how we do? Simple, like manually the person will test. Yes, you will click on it and you will be able to see that. Okay, so it is working or not, you will check. Okay, you are able to click on, your page is loaded, you are able to place a order, return a order. Okay, all those things are working or not, we test for this UI, that is manual testing. Okay, so that is presentation layer testing done by the person. That is manual testing. If you do with automation, that is a tool we use Selenium with Java. Okay, so you might have heard automation testing and Selenium Java. So this is where you do the Selenium Java automation testing. So what you have behind this, okay, behind this, when you click on login and you provide your user details, okay, what your user details, you provide username and password. Okay, so when you provide your username password, somewhere it will be authenticated. For a valid user only the valid access is given. So if you give password incorrect, you will get an error that password is incorrect, you are not allowed to log in, right? If your password is correct, you are able to log in and you are allowed to log in. So what that verification is done from where, right? You might be thinking yes or no. So from where that is being done is with the APIs. Okay, so that verifications on the data, is it valid or not, okay, you are allowed to access or not, that things, the core business logic is APIs. Okay, so this is called as business layer. So in this business layer, what you have, the core logic you have, what is your business core logic is, that is available. Okay, so hi Shrestha, did I pronounce your name correctly? Yes. Okay. So what we are looking today is, I will quickly revise. So we are looking about like what is the architecture of the web applications. Okay. So this is the architecture of any web application. So how these web applications are developed, what is these web applications are. Okay. So you are able to launch on a browser. Okay, so suppose you are able to launch any application like your SpiceJet application or Make My Trip. Yeah, hi Shrestha. So Shrestha, right? So did I pronounce your name correctly? So yes, okay. So hi Anita. Okay. So we will continue. Okay. So these applications you are able to launch on a web browser, that are web applications. So how these web applications are designed, what is this web application architecture, we will see. Okay. So what these applications are developed with the front end, back end and databases. Okay. So what does it mean by all that front end? Front end is nothing but a presentation layer, that is the GUI. Okay, this is also called as front end. Okay, people will call as front end as well. Okay, so front end developers you might have heard about, right? So these screens are created by them. They are front end developers. This is front end, GUI, UI. and presentation layer, one and same. Okay, so where your actual core logic is available, that is your API. Right, this is your API. So your actual core logic is available here. All the verifications will be done here. So what you have here, the methods you have actually. Okay. So we will not go into the development. Do not worry what is available in this API. Just understand there is a API, application programming interface. Okay. So what this API mean is application programming. I will write it, application programming interface. Okay. So this is application programming interface, that is API. What is API? Yes. So you can make a note as well. Application programming interface, that is nothing but a API. So these APIs will store the data. Okay, data will be stored in the databases. Okay, so what is this? This is a database. So this layer is called as database layer. Okay, what is called as it is? Database layer. So all your data, your username and password, whatever your username and password is, so user details are stored in this table. Okay, so username, password, your level of access, like what details you ordered, okay, your history, your address, other details are stored. So when you log in, you are able to see your own address, your own history, right? Others history we are not allowed to see. Yes or no? How that is available? So that is available with the databases. There is a connection, there is a relation between the tables. So one is a user table, another is address table, another is payment table. Okay, all that tables will contain the data about that records. Okay, so whatever you create, when you sign up, your profile is created using this application programming interface, and your username, password, first name, last name, everything will be stored in the database. Right, everything will be stored in the database. So next time when you log in, your API will check that are you a valid user or not. If you are valid, then it will allow you to access, and your username and password, your username, first name, last name is displayed when you log in. Okay, from where that is taken, from the database that is taken. So your API will call the details, and it will take that details and show on a UI once you log in. So when you log in, your own details are displayed from this database. Right, so all these details are available in the database. So what is a database? Where actually your data is stored. Right, so this is called as database layer. So this is three-tier architecture. Okay, so all your web applications are having this architecture. Web application means what? Hosted on a network. Anything. All these SpiceJet application, your Make My Trip application, your Amazon, whichever application you are able to see on a browser, like able to launch on a browser, that will have this architecture for sure. There are at the end, there are back these APIs, so which are internally called, without you understand, that will be APIs will be called. Okay, so once you click on this anything, API will be called, you will get a response. So these details, all these options are displayed from where? From the database. Okay, what to show, what not to show, for which user, all those details are available in the database. So request will go from this user with the API, right? So API will call, and it will take the data from the database, and it will go back and display on a UI. So as a user, we are able to see this everything we are not able to see. Okay, so as a user, we are able to see only this presentation layer. So user is able to see only these portion of things. Okay, so your this portion you are able to see, right? So I'll mention like this. So this is the portion which is you are able to see, and behind the scenes these all things will happen. Your APIs will be called, data will be stored, data will be updated. So suppose you want to change address, you want to change a mobile number, you want to do any changes, you change. Many times you might have changed also. Yes or no? Yes. So you might have changed data also. How that data is, whenever you change your address, new address is displayed on a UI. Yes or no? So how that new address is displayed, the changes will be stored in the database. So whenever that changes are stored, then new changes will be displayed on a UI. So everything is interconnected. Request will go, response will come. Okay, request will go, data will be updated, response will be sent. So as a user is able to see only these details. Okay, behind the scenes, whatever happening, you're not able to see that automatically happens. Okay, but who created? The developers created. There are APIs, there are network calls. Okay, so that is available, that is done. Okay, so I'll show you, if you want to see how that APIs are getting called or what that details are. So you can right click and click on inspect. Okay, so you will be able to see this code. Okay, in this, okay, in this elements tab, these are the elements. Which are the elements? These are the options, labels, images. These are the elements. So these all elements are created with this code. Yes, able to understand how these elements are created. With this code, these elements are created. Yes or no? Right, we are not allowed to change anything here. The developers are done, it is hosted on a network. We are just looking at it. Okay, whatever is created, we will just look at it. Okay, this is what it is created, we understand, fine. Right, so we are not going to change anything in this, just we will look at it. So able to see the code. Right, what is the code for this? Okay, again we will go to this Amazon page. So in this Amazon page also, I want to see the code. What we will do, we will right click and inspect. Right? Right click and inspect, you are able to see the code. Yes or no? This is a code for this page. So specifically for one element, I want to know the code. For this, what is the code? If I right click and inspect, okay, this is a code for this element, this input box. Input box means user is providing some input. So you provide some input, mobiles under 30,000, right? So then you get, this is the code, right? Able to see what is the code? Yes. So this is the code for this. Just you mouse over, you have this spy button. What is this button called? This button is called as spy. Okay. If you click on this spy, and you go to this code, automatically this is highlighted. Yes or no? Okay, so if you take this and if you go to this, automatically this below code is highlighted. So what does it mean? This code is for this input box, and this input box is created with this code. Yes, so if you take this pie and go to this, your same input type, text id equals to 2, tab search text box, value mobiles under 30,000. Okay, this is what is displayed. Okay, yes, if you spy this and if you click on this search, then also you are able to see this is for a search. Okay, this is another code. See, input id, name, search, submit button. Okay, type is submit. So this is the code for this search button. Okay, so you are able to see this is the entire code for this entire page. Okay, this is, okay, this is in the elements tab. Okay, if you go to network, you will be able to see. Okay, so the network tab has all the API calls. Okay, so your API calls, which APIs are called, whatever is called. Okay, so suppose we have clicked on something, we have not done anything here, so it is not showing. Okay, so you will get to see the network related, what is, okay, application related. Okay, we will not go into the development things. Okay, just try to understand This elements is showing the elements available on this page. Okay, this is the code. That's it. Okay, not much. Fine. So able to understand what is this three-tier architecture, what is this GUI presentation layer, what is presentation layer, guys? Answer. Can we have quick answers? What is presentation layer? You can type in the chat also. Okay. So you can type in the chat as well. What is presentation layer? Anita, Shruti, able to understand? Yes or no? Yes, you can be very frank enough to say no as well. Okay. So no need to worry about asking questions at any point of time. You can ask any questions whenever you have. Able to understand? Yes, no.
Yes, yes. It's like, it's a presentation layer. It means that you is from the user point, we can see the website. So what is the business and all, we can see it. That is the from as a user we can see it, but we cannot see the database. We cannot see the API part and all. As a user, we can see only the presentation layer, that which is front end called UI.
Yes, correct. Correct, Anita. Yes. So front end is GUI, that is graphical user interface. So this is the graphical user interface that is given for user to understand. If suppose this is not given, okay, this is not given. You have given with APIs and databases. It will be very difficult to understand what each API is getting called or what it is doing. We will not be able to understand. So this graphical user interface for user only, it is to understand or it is to give some interface to user, like user can click on it. Okay, we know to click on it, then we will get the details about Amazon. So how user friendly Amazon, that's why people are using Amazon application. Yes or no? It is user friendly. You are able to understand, okay, if I click on, I can see the items. I have a button that is add to cart, so we can add it to cart. We have uh, place order button, so we can place the order. So how easily you are able to understand, because that is a presentation layer, that is a interface given to user. It is only and only for a user. So any person who is non-technical, doesn't need to know any technology, doesn't need to know anything. If he is looking at image also, he can understand, okay, this is about the mobile. I can buy this mobile by clicking on add to cart and making the payment, giving the card details or like payment details, I can buy it. Anyone can understand. Okay. So basic, he should be able to understand, okay, this is the amount, this is a name or something like that. He can search also with the simple name, Samsung phone or iPhone or a MacBook or laptop or anything. Okay. So whatever they want. So it is for a user to give that layer and to make your application more user friendly. What is user friendly? Any person is able to understand. Okay. No matter they know technology, they should be able to understand, because end users will never know the technology. Yes or no? If
Yes.
this is not given, if this is not given, will there be any user who will be able to understand these API calls and databases? They can place a order. No, no one will do that. So no one will like that Amazon application which is only calling the APIs and we don't know what APIs to call or how to place a order. No one will use that application. So will there be any market value for Amazon? How Amazon is making profit? It is by selling the products. So how they are able to sell the products? By being very user friendly, by providing the interface. So this interface is been developed using this code. Okay, that is for a only and only user. Actually main business logic is available in this business layer. Okay, which user to allow, which user to not to allow. Okay, what actions user can perform, user can place a order or not. Okay, user payment is not done. So is it like will there be any case that user is allowed to place a order? okay, without a payment? No, right? So that authentication checks or the details, they have done the payments or not, all those core business logic will be tested or developed using these APIs. Okay, so what is your core logic? The application core logic, like your password is incorrect, you will be not allowed to log in, yes or no? So if your mobile number is incorrect, if your OTP is incorrect, your transactions will not complete, right? So that all things, when to allow, when not to allow. There is a decision, right? When to allow, when not to allow, right? So in some cases, your payments will be declined. Whatever may be the reason, your card expired or you don't have enough sufficient balance or your CVV is incorrect, your payment details are incorrect, then your transactions will not be completed. So your order is not placed. Yes or no? So your order is not placed. That time, how that is been calculated, that is been done with the APIs. Okay. So we are going to learn about APIs also, API testing also in this training. So API testing we will be learning using the Postman tool. Okay. So what is this Postman tool? What it does? Okay. I'll show you what is a Postman tool. So Postman tool will look like this. Okay, so I'll not go into the details. We will see installation about it and all the details about it. So this is a Postman tool. It will be used for API testing. So we will be learning about API testing also in this training. So what is a get? Get is to get the data. Like you are a user, you want to see your data. So once you log in, you have to see your data, right? This API will be called internally, right? This is the API that will be called. We will see that installation and basic details. Okay. So now I'm just giving information that APIs is a thing that is we are going to learn in this training using the Postman tool. Okay. So this is the tool for a API testing. Okay. Databases, you know, there is a SQL, MySQL, okay, PostgreSQL, no SQL. So these are the some of the SQL that are available for databases. So we will be learning about databases also in the training. Okay. So what we use for presentation layer automation testing, Selenium, Java. Okay. What we use for API testing, Postman tool. Okay. And what we use for a database, SQL. Yes. So MySQL is we use. Okay. So now tell
For
me
front
what.
end, what you said, Priya, sorry. So
Yes.
for front end, what you said, like for business layer, it is Postman tool, and database layer, it's MySQL and SQL, and for front end,
Selenium,
yeah, okay,
Java.
okay, okay. Selenium Java is front end. Okay.
Yes. So this is Selenium Java is automation tool. Yes. So it is for a automation testing of the UI. Automation of UI. UI is graphical user interface, GUI. I'll write. So whatever the screens you are able to see. Okay. These screens are tested with automation testing, manual testing, both. Right? What is manual testing? The testing done by the person. In person, one person will do that testing. That is manual testing. Okay. Automation testing is you will write a script. You will write a script in Selenium and then you have some commands. Okay. So Selenium commands you will write and you will test. Okay. That is your testing. Okay. Yes. Able to
Yeah,
understand?
yeah, I got it, Priya.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So now, so we will see more on the presentation layer testing today. Okay. So what we do actually, what are the different types of testing that we perform? Okay. So all those things we will see. Now, okay. So this is about the architecture. Okay. This is about the design. Then what is about testing? So about testing, we will see. What is testing? Okay. So what is testing? Can we get some answers? Testing is
Yeah,
finding
checking the
out.
quality. Yeah, finding out the bugs and checking the quality of the product.
Okay, bugs, checking the quality. Right. How we do that checking the quality? Okay. By
Testing
having
as an user and
by writing the test cases.
cases. Okay.
Okay. So we do this. So it is a process. What is testing is a process in which we have checkpoints to determine the objective is met or not. Okay, the objective is met or not, we have checkpoints. The checkpoints are nothing but test cases. Okay, so these are nothing but the test cases that we have, and using these test cases, we perform the testing. Okay, so testing is finding out how well something works. Okay, so testing is finding out how well something works.
Sorry, what, Priya?
Yes, testing is finding out how
For
well
bugs?
something works.
Oh, okay.
Finding out how well something
Something
works.
works. Okay.
Okay. So now testing is like you're testing Amazon. So you will find out how well it works. Yes or no? So how well this Amazon is working. You're able to add the items to cart. You're able to place an order. You're able to return the order. So how well this Amazon works. That is where you check. Yes. Suppose you are testing any other application. Okay. So you are testing SpiceJet application. Okay. So it is. Yes, you're aware of what is this application is. You can book the hotels or like you can book a flight. Okay, you can. Yes, you're aware of. Okay, some of the details about this application. Okay, so in this you can book a hotels or destination, your flights. Okay, all these things. So you can manage your bookings also. So testing this SpiceJet application means what? How well this works, how well it is responding to user, how easy it is for user to use it. Okay, will this SpiceJet company will be able to benefit something providing this application? Will user be that users are able to use this whatever the purpose is? So there will be objective right behind developing this application. So your SpiceJet is a company, they are paying some $1 million or some amount to tech company. Okay, so to develop and to test, obviously they will have some purpose, right? They want to have an online platform where people can buy the buy the tickets. Okay, for the flights, they can book the hotel stay, something like that. They have this purpose, yes or no? Right, so they have this purpose, and for that purpose they will perform the testing, right? Development also. So then we will check as a QA the objective is met or not. That is what we check. So objective means what? Whatever is objective, like it should be
Photo.
that people should be able to book a hotel. That objective is working or not. Okay, so that client is paying some amount to the company, so obviously he will pay only and only if that things are working, right? So understand, you as a customer or you as a client, when you go and buy some items, right? So before you pay some any amount, 5 rupees or 10 rupees, whatever, okay, some dollars, okay, some $10 or $100, whenever you go and pay, obviously you will check that usefulness. Okay, is it worth or not? Then only the payments will be done. So the same reason being, whenever the client is paying some $1 million, obviously they will look for usefulness. If it is not at all developed in a usefulness manner, okay, people are not able to book the hotels, they will not do the payments. Okay, so the testing is quality check. Okay, it should be fulfilling that objectives what is meant for it. Okay, so this SpiceJet application is meant for hotel bookings, flight bookings, okay, and manage bookings. Then you will be looking at that objective is fulfilled or not. Okay, so then how that objectives we decide? We get that objectives in the form of requirement documents. Okay. So we get the requirement document. Okay. So that requirement documents we understand, read about and go through, and we write the test cases. So test cases we design. After we design test cases, in that test case we write what we write. User should be able to book a hotel. User should be able to book a flights. User should be able to book, or user should be able to manage the bookings, view the history. Okay, cancel the orders, cancel the flights, or cancel the hotel stay, or ask for a refund. Okay, whatever complaints they have. So all the things it should have, right? So that all things we test by writing the test cases. So when we are testing, we will not have much questions. So we design test cases for all the objectives. All the objectives. So can I say for all the requirements I will design? Yes, can I say that? For all the requirements, we will write test cases. All the objectives or all the requirements, is it same?
Yes.
Yes. Saying that for all the requirements we will write test cases is the same. Okay. So for testing this with all the objectives, it will remain same. Okay. All the test cases, all the requirements are available. So all your test cases, that test cases count will be 100, 200, something. Okay. So in that you will check for a positive, negative. So what does it mean by positive, negative now? Positive means you are able to book, right? Positive scenario is you are able to search for a valid. Okay. So enter a city. Which city shall we search, guys? Tell me something.
Sorry,
So
which
I'll search
city?
for,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So we will search for one city, something like this. Okay. So in this city, what are the hotels available? It will give. Okay. Or a Delhi you search, you will get the search results related to that. Okay. So when you are giving some valid city name, you will get a results. Valid city name you are giving, you are getting the results. That is positive, right? There is positive, negative. So positive is, and there is a negative. Okay. So what does it mean by positive, negative here? So positive means valid city you are giving. Okay. For valid city, you should get a
I should get all the details about the hotel stay or whatever we
search
are going to
result.
search.
Right. So consider some city name user has given which doesn't exist in the world itself. Okay. That is some invalid city. User can give invalid city intentionally, unintentionally. Okay. So now for a Mumbai, we have got the results. Okay. Orchid, or these are the hotels that are available. Okay. So people can see the pricing and they can select the dates or select the hotel and then book it. Okay. So then for a valid one, you have got the results. That is, for a valid, you are getting the results. Okay. For invalid, so there is a some city user is searching. Whatever user has given. Okay. User has given some invalid date, start date and end date. Something is given, but there is something invalid and searching. See, please select the city from a list. So some error message is displayed, but there is no result is not displayed. This is invalid testing, right? So this is invalid city. For that invalid city, error pop-up should be displayed. Instead of search results. So what search result it can show? It cannot show the search results for that city because that city doesn't exist. So this is negative testing. Negative means some incorrect details we provide. As a user can do this intentionally, unintentionally. Okay, so user might be not a correct person, right? So user can make mistakes, or there are some fraud users which who are wantedly doing this and they want to book or they want to like it. There may be any reasons, right? Fraud reasons, They may be intentional, unintentional. So this invalid access your application should stop, right? Invalid city you are giving, so error pop-up should be displayed, right? That is your for a negative testing. So what is negative testing, positive testing? Able to understand?
Yeah.
Error
Yes.
pop-up should be displayed. So for a invalid city, there should be the error pop-up. So your search engine should not give the search results because that is not a valid city. Okay. So if you give a valid city, anything, so you will get a search results also, right? So you are getting options and you are able to search as well. You are able to select the rooms, okay, how many rooms you want, and then search. All right. So this writing the positive scenarios for multiple things. Okay. For sometimes you will check for one guest room, okay, one room, two room, 10 rooms like that. Okay. Sometimes you will check for different dates. So you will write positive 4, 5 test cases, right? 4 test cases you will write. Consider, I'm saying on a rough. Okay. So one test case is for a valid date. One test case is for a one room. One test case is for 5 rooms, 10 rooms. Okay. At a time, people can buy, right? So there is a event, something, okay, some corporate event or some marriage or some function. People will book hotel rooms, multiple rooms also, maybe 10, 20, 30. Yes or no? Yes. So as a user, what all things that user can do? Right. So as a user can buy the user can book the hotels one also, multiple also, 10 also, right? So that way we have to test. So for a invalid also you will test with 4, 5 scenarios. What are the 4 scenarios? So you will give a invalid city name. You will give the from date, and you will try to give the to date before the from date. Okay. So it is disabled, it is not allowing you to give that, right? So it is not allowing. Minimum you have to select next day, right? So if you selected 6, it is not allowing to select a date 4, right? So but if you are not able to input, but you can type also, right? So you can see that, okay, that is working or not. Testing means this application is already tested, right? So this SpiceJet is already tested, so we are not able to find the defects. But if you are testing for the first time, maybe it will work. So what you do, you can give a 04 also. It may take. That is the wrong thing, right? So users cannot give the from date and to date, past date of the from date, right? So they can check future date. 6 is the from date and to date is the 8th. So 2 days they are testing. For the 2 days, the booking is done. So if you are selecting the previous date, what does it mean? That we cannot go back in the past date, right? We cannot stay for the past dates. So always and always from date should be the first, and to date should be the last, like it is a future date. So that is a one thing you have to check. That is another negative. Again, if you can book the hotel with 0 rooms, you have to check how can a person book a room, like a hotel for a 0 room. Yes or no, guys? Right?
Yes.
How can a user can minimum one is required? Okay, so if there is a 0 option, then that is a issue, right? So how a person can book the number of persons 0, right? So a user cannot book hotel for a 0 persons. Yes or no? So minimum one person is required. Without one person, if you are booking for a 0, that is also again a negative, right? Yes or no? If you are 0 child is fine. Okay, one adult is minimum fine. Yes or no? So there is 0 adult, that is again invalid. It is going to be. So we will check for a 0 rooms or 0 adults, and the to date is past date from the from date or invalid city. So like this, we will test different scenarios in the negative also. So we have seen the 4. Okay. For searching the flight only, we have 8 scenarios. In combined, we have 8 scenarios to test. Yes, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, that is one search. Booking again, you have multiple scenarios. Okay. For payment also you have multiple scenarios. So like this, you will write 100 test cases. So we will see how we write test cases. Okay. So what are the steps we write? Just understand how we test positive, negative. Clear with what is positive, what is negative. Good with.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So we are trying to check how well that application works. Okay. So for a valid things, it should give the results. Okay. It should work. For invalid, it should give error message. Proper error messages should be given. Okay. Proper error message means what? If you are providing the input, which is zero adults. Okay. Suppose this is allowed. And then you should get a error message, right? 0 persons. You cannot book a hotel with 0%. If there is no error message displayed, the user will never know what is happening, right? So if you are giving some invalid city, okay, and you are searching, so if this error message is not shown, user will never know what is happening, right? So user will think, okay, what is happening? Maybe unintentionally he has given. Okay, some are the new users who don't know how to use application. They might be using it for the first time. Okay, and without knowing, they gave something like this, and then they are giving the Mumbai. Okay, or whatever they are giving after this, and they are searching. Okay, unintentionally they don't know what is happening, but something happened and they were typing something, but it got typed. So error message should give a guidance to user, that is user friendly, right? It should guide user that, okay, you have given a city which is incorrect, please give the city from the list. That pop up, he will read and he will understand, yes, okay, I have given something wrong, so let me give something correct, then I will get the search results. Okay, so this is what we have for the testing, right? So we have to give the user that error messages, informations. So it should guide the user, and it should also stop the user from accessing, right? And it should also give the error messages in detail, right? So that is the details about. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay.